Okay, I don't know if let's wait a little bit. I'm gonna call the others again. And if nobody join us, well, we have to start just with the ones that are already here. Um, First of all, I would like to see if you see my screen and if you can hear me properly. Because in this particular meeting, we'll need to use a lot of the mic or the chat. So feel free just to turn in and talk. It's okay. Okay, it seems like nobody is attending the other ones. So I'm gonna proceed to share my presentation with the two of you that are here, but I would like to see and at least know if you are listening to while I'm playing the video presentation, okay? So welcome to this class for exam preparation. Today we're gonna improve our listening skill and we're gonna see some couple of videos and audios where people are talking and we're gonna try to figure it out what they're talking about and the main topic sometimes of the conversation. So like I just mentioned, feel free just to turn on your mic and talk so will be more easy. Also, you're gonna practice pronunciation as well, or the chat if you in case you can turn on your mic. So for start this class, I would like to share with you this video that he will talk about how is the experience of living abroad, and is for our listening practice like I just mentioned to you, and for the level B2. So we're gonna start using some of vocabulary according to this classification. So I'm gonna play the video, and in case you don't listen or you don't hear quite properly, let me know, turn on your mic or send in well, turning on your mic, it will be more easy because I can immediately know, but it's okay. So let's start with this one.
Hey everybody, welcome to this B2 English listening practice video. You can use this video to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So today, I'm going to talk to you about living abroad. I was an expat for a few years, so I can offer a pretty good amount of insight into this topic. Let's start first with the good things. Living abroad opens up a whole world of new experiences, ideas, and cultures that you never would have dreamed of if you hadn't moved abroad. The second you step off the plane and realize that you're not just on vacation, you're in your new home, it can hit you like a truck. Regardless of how much planning you've done, and regardless of how much desire you have to live in that new country, the reality of it all will strike fear in you. But this fear is actually a good fear. It's like an exciting fear. You've probably heard the expression, to have butterflies in your stomach. Well, the experience of arriving in your new country and knowing that you're going to set up your life there will definitely give you a serious case of the butterflies. It's more like giant moths. But like I said, I consider that a positive. Another good thing is that hopefully you'll get to learn a new language. Ideally, you'd already have a decent level in the country's language, and so being in that country and surrounded by native speakers would be a great way to improve. But as you can probably imagine, not everyone gets the same pleasure out of speaking a foreign language as I do or other language learners do. So this might be a negative for some people, and I personally know people that have been living in a foreign country for 4, 5, 6 years, and they can barely put a sentence together. So my advice to those moving abroad would be to study the language as much as possible before you go. Because if you arrive in your new country without knowing any of the language, you're not just gonna pick it up. It doesn't work like that. All the talking you hear around you is just going to be like static noise in the background. It won't make any sense to you and it won't help you learn. You need to study and get to the level where you can actually understand the message of what people are saying, and then you can go out into the real world and pick it up. And then you can have fun speaking that language in your new country. Alright, so the biggest negative about living abroad is obviously being far away from your loved ones. This one's a no-brainer. It's not easy to live far from your family and friends. It's one thing to move across the country, but moving to a completely different country is a whole nother level of difficulty, mainly because it's harder to visit each other. I know it's not the same as being with them in person, but it does help to video chat or even just call your family. When you think about it, it's not that different than talking to them face to face, except for the fact that you can't touch them. So yeah, that's the hardest part for sure. And the other negative thing is that there are always going to be certain things about the new country or culture that you don't like. In my experience, I was able to adapt to my new country pretty well, but there were some things that I just couldn't get used to. Things like the low quality infrastructure, the lack of punctuality, and some other minor things. You should definitely try to adapt as much as possible in your new country, but there will be some things that are just too different or that are contrary to your personality. That's the reality of living abroad. Okay, so that's all for today. Leave a comment and let me know if you've ever lived abroad before or if you'd like to live abroad. I'll see you next video.
So after watching this video, we're gonna move on to some questions that I have today for you,
Hey
according
everybody, welcome.
to what we just saw. So did you listen the video, Julissa and Giuliani? Can you talk? Turn on your mic. Because the idea is that we together, of course, feel free. If you need to listen again, it's totally okay. I can do that. I can play again the video for you, but the idea is to answer the following questions based on the listening about living abroad. So did you feel like you need to listen more, or you okay? I see that is just Julissa now here. So would you like to read the following questions and let me know if you do you pick it up, or if you need as well maybe play again the video. It's totally okay. We can do that. So I would like to hear you. Natalia, are you here? I see that you're typing, so you are not able to turn on your mic, or well, I think you say something at the beginning of the meeting. This is a good way to practice. Just feel free to ask if you don't understand, or if it's not clear for you. I can thoroughly explain to you. Okay, we have time running, and unfortunately, we need to move on. So the first question is, according to the speaker, what kind of fear do you experience when first arriving in a new country to live? When you're like, let's suppose that you are living abroad. So I would like to know, in your own words or your own expression, we're not gonna take it from the video first, how or what kind of fear will you experience? Or if you live abroad, I don't know. So, teacher, I don't understand the question. Which question do you not understand? Because we just saw a video. I'm gonna explain again for you. We just played this video. Let me show you this one. And he mentions some stuff that are here in these questions. So according to the speaker, meaning this guy, what kind of fear did he experience when first arriving in a new country to live? That is one of the questions, but I also want to know, in your experience, in your own words, what kind of fear will you experience, or do you think that you will experience if you live abroad? You can turn your mic and let me know. Did you hear the video? It is clear for you now? Can you turn your mic and talk? Let me see, what did you type? Because I didn't get the... Okay. So, do you think that you need to say it again? The thing with these exercises is actually that's the point. The way people speak, or their speed they speak, is totally different depending of the accent, depending of the country. So that is the thing, and that is the idea to practice today. Trying to catch up the most we can in a conversation like this, and the video that I just played has subtitles. In this case, that is a helping thing, because with the subtitles, if I don't understand what he's saying, I can read them. And it was really clear them. But as you saying that you didn't understand because he speak fast. I'm gonna just move on because I can't just wait for you to participate, because I have other meetings, other classes. So I need this to be more, the idea was to make it more enjoyable. It doesn't need to be perfect, just participate and respond to the activity. But let's move on. According to the speaker, what kind of fear do you experience when first arriving in a new country? Well, you didn't say anything, but I will say maybe fear, maybe the excitement, maybe a little bit of confusion too. So it is like a mix of many things. And for example, he mentioned in this answer, like I just mentioned, an exciting fear, positive fear, like he mentioned on the video, butterflies in your stomach, or giant moths. So it depends actually of your experience, but it could be those things. It was totally understandable on the video that I played according to this level that we're practicing today, B2. So the second question, do you understand the second question? Is it for you to turn your mic and let me know? or you have any impediments that don't you allow it to do that? Because if you write, I cannot see until I go back to my two teams. But okay, you say my answer, step one, I feel anxious about new customs, people, and not knowing how to communicate properly. It's totally understandable, and that it could be one of fears, of course. So, what is the speaker's strong recommendation about language learning before moving abroad? So, what do you think? What do you think, Natalia? Let's see if you have said something. Not yet. So, what do you think of the second questions? Well, he mentioned that before moving, you need to know a little bit of the language that is spoken on depending on of the country you're moving on. Um, so yes, the speaker strongly recommends learning the basics of the local language before moving abroad, as it helps to communicate with communication and adapting faster. Yes, that's totally correct and true. So continue with the activity. Yes, what did you say is what's accurate, because study the language as much as possible before you go. So you won't just pick it up on arrival, so it won't be so confusing and difficult. What does the speaker compare hearing a foreign language without prior knowledge to? What do you think? This was right, and this was right too. Sorry, I did not know that my mic was off, but yes, did you answer correctly? And what is mentioned as the biggest negative about living abroad? What do you think is one of the negative things to live abroad? I don't want to take it from the video, but I want you to give me in your own words, what do you think? Yes, that's correct. Okay, you did answer according to the video. This is totally okay. So let's continue with the 5. What two specific examples does the speaker give about the things he couldn't get used to in his new country? This one, it needs to be according to that video that we just saw. Yes, the different food and the weather adds things that were difficult to get used to it. Yeah, makes sense. It's hard to move abroad. Eh, and also low quality infrastructure and lack of punctuality. Now let's move on to the second video, and this is listening comprehension questions. The we will be listening to is a video about almost 6 minutes. And according to this video, be really attentive because it's more audio. It does not have any subtitles. So the idea is to listen to this, and afterwards we'll answer some questions like we just did with the last video we watched. So let's listen to
6 Minute English
from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, this is 6 Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Beth.
And I'm Neil. Phew, I've spent a day in meetings, then shopping, then collecting the kids from school. I'm exhausted, Beth. What have you been doing today?
Oh, not much. Just sitting around, doing nothing, relaxing and kicking back.
Lucky you. Don't you have any work to do?
It may not look it, Neil, but I'm actually as busy as a bee. If you've seen nature documentaries about worker bees flying from flower to flower, you probably think animals are always on the move. But the surprising truth is, away from the cameras, most animals spend most of their time doing absolutely nothing at all.
In the natural world, where finding food and shelter is hard work, why have some animals evolved to do nothing? And if it's good enough for animals, would being lazy work for humans too? That's what we'll be discussing in this program, and as usual, we'll be learning some useful new vocabulary as well.
But first, let me work up the energy to ask you a question, Neil. Of course, some animals have a reputation for lounging about. Lions, for example, can sleep up to 20 hours a day. But what is the slowest moving animal on Earth? Is it A, the giant tortoise, B, the three-toed sloth, or C, the koala?
Well, I think it's the three-toed sloth.
OK, Neil, I'll reveal the correct answer at the end of the programme. Now, it's no surprise that lazy lions love relaxing, but even animals with reputations for being busy spend time doing nothing. Look carefully into an ant's nest and you'll see around half of them just sitting there motionless. Here's Professor Dan Charbonneau, an expert in insect behaviour, discussing the lazy rock ant with Emily Knight, presenter of BBC Radio 4 programme Nature Bang.
Dan's research has focused on ant colonies, a species called Temnothorax rugatulus, or the rock ant.
I think ants are sort of a symbol of like industriousness. They have this whole tiny little society going on that's kind of similar to ours, some idealized version of what humans might be. If we could only like pull it together and all work together, we could be as industrious as the ants. But then when you look at it, roughly about half the colony is inactive at any given time.
We think ants are industrious or hard-working. Groups of ants called colonies seem tiny, perfect societies where everyone works hard for the good of the group.
Then why are so many of them inactive? One possible answer is that they're reserve ants, ready to step in if disease or disaster strike. But could it simply be that they don't work because they don't need to? Would you get out of bed on Monday morning if you didn't have to?
Maybe the ants can teach us a thing or two about relaxing, but wouldn't it get boring just sitting around all day?
Not according to psychologist Dr. Sandy Mann. She thinks being productive, working to produce a lot for the amount of resources we use, is overrated. Boredom has its benefits too, as she explained to BBC Radio 4 programme Nature Bang.
Would humans have invented bread or beer or fire, if we hadn't been bored and were wondering what on earth would happen if we mix this with this? Are all these sorts of inventions the mother of boredom?
But in this world of constant stimulation, switching off is harder than it's ever been.
That's why we're constantly swiping and scrolling and looking for the next big thing and the new thing, and we get bored of things very quickly. So it's a kind of paradox. To get rid of this unpleasant state of boredom is actually to allow more boredom into your life.
Dr. Mann doubts humans would have invented things without the curiosity that comes from being bored. Boredom is the mother of invention, an idea based on the famous proverb, necessity is the mother of invention, an idiom meaning that if you really need to do something, you will think of a way of doing it.
Instead of fearing boredom, we can open up to its benefits by switching off, stopping worrying or thinking about something and relaxing. Slowing down helps too, something we can definitely learn from our animal cousins.
I think now is a good time to reveal the answer to my question, since we have nothing else to do.
You asked me to name the world's slowest animal, and I guessed it was the three-toed sloth. Was I right?
That was the correct answer. With a top speed of 30 centimetres per minute, three-toed sloths move so slowly that algae grows on their coats. OK, let's recap the vocabulary we've learned from this programme, starting with the phrase kicking back, to stop doing things and relax completely.
The adjective industrious means hard-working.
A colony is the name given to a group of certain animals, including ants and some seabirds.
Someone who is productive is able to produce a lot for the amount of resources they use.
The proverb, necessity is the mother of invention, means that if you really need to do something, you will think of a way of doing it.
And finally, to switch off means to stop worrying or thinking about something and relax. Once again, our 6 minutes are up. It must be time to sit down, close your eyes, and just do nothing. Goodbye for now.
Bye.
Okay, Natalia, it was clear for you? Did you understand the video? I would like to know before I move on to the questions. Because they speak fast. Okay, let's see what is your cut of the video. That is the thing, it's like I said at the beginning, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's starting to train our listening, our hearts, our skill. So when it comes to a very important exam, we'll be prepared. So, it does not need to be perfect at first. This is the idea, to take these sessions to improve what we need to, in cases our listening or writing or speaking. So, feel free. So I'm gonna see what did you catch. It's totally normal, like it doesn't need to be perfect. So I just mentioned this, but I'm gonna read it for you again. Answer the following questions based on the BBC Learning video that we just watched. So the first question is, according to the video, what surprising fact is true about most animals when they're away from cameras? So did you pick that one, or you don't remember what they mentioned about that? Let's see if you answer. You say something. Very little. Most animals actually spend a lot of time doing nothing, resting of being inactive. Okay. Thank you for your answer, for your participation. And that's totally true. Most animals spend most of their time doing absolutely nothing. That's what they mentioned. And the second question is, what percentage of ants in a colony does the professor Dan Carbonell describe as inactive? And we need to move a little bit faster because we're running out of time. So the answer is roughly half of the colony. What does the Dr. Sandyman suggest about boredom and human inventions? The answer is that she believes boredom leads to curiosity, which drives into inventions like bread, beer, and fire. What common proverb does Dr. Mann adapt to describe boredom's role in creativity? Boredom is the mother of invention. Adapted from necessity is the mother of invention, that he mentioned on the video we just watched. And what is the top speed of the three-toed sloth mentioned in the video? Those are kind of tricky questions, and the answer is 30 centimeters per minute. There are questions that are a little tricky. And for being in this level, we need to train our listening, because everybody would like to, when it's learning or when it's getting the skill, the practicity of listening, we would like to people talk slowly, like this, like, do you understand? Do you hear? What percentage? But that never gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, because people usually speak in their normal speed of speaking. It's the same for a person that is learning Spanish. We speak the way we speak and our speed, and that is training till you catch up. So this is a simple space to train that skill the best as we can. Now is the listening part 1. You will hear now people talking in 8 different situations. For questions from 1 to 8, choose the first answer, A, B, or C, according to what you listen to. So be really attentive of the listening. The audio I'm gonna play.
You will hear people talking in 8 different situations. For questions 1 to 8, choose the best answer, A, B, or C. 1. You hear 2 students talking about their first geography class of the year.
Did you enjoy today's geography class about Canada? It really made me want to go there.
It's a great place. I've been a few times.
Really? Wow! Well, I certainly discovered loads of useful stuff I wasn't aware of before. I was struggling to keep up sometimes, though. Doing some background reading will help, I think.
Well, even though I've been there, I can't say I knew that much. What we did should really help with our next assignment. I wonder if we'll get to find out about the animals in Canada. They're really interesting.
That'd be great, but I've no idea if geography includes those.
Maybe not.
So, what is the best answer? How do they both feel? A, optimistic about how the classes will develop over them. The third, concerned that it was more difficult than they expected. Satisfied that they learned some valuable information. So, which one of those 3 options do you think is the best? Okay, now continue with the second question. Be really attentive.
Did you enjoy today's geography class about Canada? It really made me want to go there.
It's a great place. I've been a few times.
Really? Wow! Well, I certainly discovered loads of useful stuff I wasn't aware of before. I was struggling to keep up sometimes, though. Doing some background reading will help, I think.
Well, even though I've been there, I can't say I knew that much. What we did should really help with our next assignment. I wonder if we'll get to find out about the animals in Canada. They're really interesting.
That'd be great, but I've no idea if geography includes those.
Maybe not.
Two, you hear a boy telling a friend about buying some food for wild birds.
Where are you off to with that bag of birdseed, Jake?
I'm going to put some in the garden and then wait till the birds come. I've fed them every morning this winter. I've had an amazing number come and feed so far, and recently one really unusual coloured bird's been visiting. It might come back again.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, it's all for a conservation organisation I'm involved with. There's been such a decline in some species, they've asked people to identify the birds they see over a certain period.
Sounds brilliant. Can I take part too?
Sure, you can help me if there's one I don't recognise.
So, what is he aiming to do? A. Attract one particular species of birds, keep the local birds alive during the winter, monitor the range of wild birds that visit his garden. So, which one of A, B, C do you think is the best and the accurate one? A, B, C, which one? Let me know. C. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You will hear people talk.
We were at 3. Now the third one. Sorry.
You will hear. Three. You hear a girl telling a friend about a spelling competition she won.
Congratulations on winning the national spelling test, Hayley.
Thanks. I thought it'd be scary, as the other students were brilliant, but I refused to be put off by them.
Great. Loads of the words were really difficult, though. How on earth did you learn to spell them all?
Well, I just got used to remembering them. My dad taught me different strategies, like using rhymes to remember unusual spellings. Actually, just seeing the words constantly was what did it. It really helped get them into my head. I had lots of them all stuck on the walls in my room. I always remember stuff that way.
Wow. Wish that worked for me.
So on the third one, you hear a girl telling a friend about a spelling competition she won. What does she say about it? A, B, or C? Let me know, please. A, thank you so much. Now let's move on to the fourth question.
You will hear people talk. 4. You hear a technology teacher telling her students about the model cars they are going to make.
Right. Last term we made some great model cars from ready-made kits, didn't we? This term you've got a new challenge. Building a model car using parts you've made yourself. Now, we've got pretty much all the tools you'll require here in school, but if you need anything else, I'll see what I can do. The key to this project is that you are precise about the component parts you make. If you are careless, the car probably won't work. But first, look online for the kind of car you'd like to build. Even if it's something quite advanced, you can get help to simplify it. Right, let's get started.
So, what does she warn them about? Okay,
You will
let's
hear people
move
talking in
to the
8
next
different
one.
You were careless. The car. And I love the bright red. It's not a colour you usually buy, is it? But it looks good on you.
Maybe you're right. To be honest, though, I've been tempted to return it to the shop. It's quite thin, considering how much they charged for it. You might feel quite chilly in it today.
It's what everyone's wearing, though. Not like you to be so fashionable.
Well, thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
Ben.
Now we're gonna listen to all the questions, all the listening parts, and then I'll check your answers because right now I can't see them. So I'm just gonna play the audio. Again.
You will hear birds come.
You've got a new usually buy, is it? But it looks good on you.
Maybe you're right. To be honest, though, I've been tempted to return it to the shop.
Ben, could I borrow your new sweatshirt? I'm going skateboarding and it's really cold.
Sure. In fact, you can keep it if you want.
What? But it was really expensive. And I love the bright red. It's not a colour you usually buy, is it? But it looks good on you.
Maybe you're right. To be honest, though, I've been tempted to return it to the shop. It's quite thin, considering how much they charged for it. You might feel quite chilly in it today.
It's what everyone's wearing, though. Not like you to be so fashionable.
Well, thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
Six, you hear a school football coach talking to his team about avoiding injuries.
Right, everyone, it's the start of the football season soon, and I want to make sure you're all well prepared so we can avoid unnecessary injuries on the pitch. We did pretty well last year, so let's keep that up. Now, we did some strength building sessions last year, but I want to ensure we do that weekly this season. That'll really help. I know you're all aware of the importance of keeping hydrated, keeping up fluid levels, so I won't go on about that. And those warm-up exercises we've always done for your muscles will be just as important this year, so don't go treating those as a waste of time.
You will hear people talk.
And those warm-up exercises we've always done for your muscles will be
talking to her friend about a building she's just visited.
I finally went to visit Curzon Palace yesterday, Sam.
Really? I'm not sure that place would be for me.
Well, like you, I'm not really into old houses and paintings and all that stuff, so I just skipped those. I was told the gardens weren't that great, but actually they were amazing. You could just wander through them and believe you were the only person there. I reckon there'd be enough stuff there to keep you interested. I mean, I even got really into the exhibition of vintage cars they've got there, and they're not normally my thing at all.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll go.
I finally went to visit Curzon Palace yesterday, Sam.
Really? I'm not sure that place would be for me.
Well, like you, I'm not really into old houses and paintings and all that stuff, so I just skipped those. I was told the gardens weren't that great, but actually they were amazing. You could just wander through them and believe you were the only person there. I reckon there'd be enough stuff there to keep you interested. I mean, I even got really into the exhibition of vintage cars they've got there, and they're not normally my thing at all.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll go.
Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. My mic was off. This is the end of the class. Thank you for your participation. I just shared with you through the chat the attendance evidence form. So I hope you have a nice day, rest of day. I'm gonna stop the recording. And